Hello, hello, good, good evening, good night, good morning, good day, good afternoon to all the TBC members all throughout the global. I am Casper Deadmine from Medang, Papua New Guinea, one of the team leaders who is involving massively to build the TBC community. This is another series of my 24/7 live broadcast based on the exceptions to the policy limitation of 100 TBC only through cookie rewards. Today I would like to take this time to share with you the blog post put on by the TBC admin on November 4, 2018. As you can see on the screen, this is the blog poster article put on the blog by the TBC admin on November 4, 2018. The poster article reads exceptions to the policy limitation of 100 TBC only coming from cookie rewards. The poster article says redemption period begins November 1st, 2018. In this article, I will cover why some exceptions will be made to the policy of the maximum amount of TBC coins that can be given to an individual through cookie rewards is 100 lifetime total TBC coins. Before I get into those exceptions, I need to make a few things very clear. TBC is not a currency with a mission. It is a mission with a currency. When you study the public notices, this becomes more clear. Also, you should know a legal structure has been put in place where all 1 billion TBC coins are in a master trust and a sub-trust is created for every TBC wallet and the coins they hold beneath the master trust. You don't own TBC. Before you get a send button in your TBC wallet, you must pass the send button test, right? Let's look at question 2. Because we are a private community, we are entitled to self-regulation with our centralized coin network. And discounters of our coin will have their send buttons turned off by admin. Other abusive behavior within our community would also result in the same thing. If a member's send button is turned off, they will be given a period of time to reform, and then they can get their send button turned back on. We have seen that decentralized coins tend to lose their value because of a small number of people. Discounting them will drive the price down sharply and ultimately create loss for all users of those coins. A coin such as ours, which is based on the principle of abundance, requires a responsibility admin to regulate its use certainly. The best way to view our coin is as community property, and each member is a steward over the repository. This is implied within the membership agreement. Are you allowed to transact with our coin at any price of your choosing? No. Our coin is part of a private community, and you have to conduct all transactions at a published current price only. Yes, you purchase the coin and it's your property to use as you wish at whatever price you want. The correct answer is no. Our coin is part of a private community, and you have to conduct all transactions at a published current price only. Pay close attention to these sentences. The best way to view our coin is as community property, and each member is a steward over their portion. This is implied within the membership agreement. Once you understand how the sub-trust protects you and the whole TBC community, you will get very excited. Let me give you an example of the principle here. The principle is to own nothing and control much. To a poor person, this may not make sense, but rich people already understand this principle. So in this example, there are two dogs. A poor man owns a dog and licenses the dog under his own name, and the dog bites a wealthy man. The wealthy man sues the poor man in court and wins and garnishes his wages to pay off the judgment, and the poor man becomes poorer. The second dog belongs to a trust a rich man set up for that dog. The only thing in the trust is the dog. That dog bites a poor woman and she thinks she will suddenly become rich by suing the rich man. But the case is dismissed because the rich man does not own the dog. There is no money in the trust. The point to this example is to welcome the legal structure of TBC and don't obsess over not owning TBC. The problem with the current financial structure is corruption has completely taken over, allowing the hoarding of wealth away from the mass majority. It is pure evil. 1% own 99% all the wealth in the world, leaving about 50% of the world population in abject poverty. What a waste of human potential. Strip away the means of a man, and that man is likely to lead a meaningless life. Hope you can see how evil it is. This is the reason TBC has been forging a new pathway. We are going our own way, centered on truths and not lies. 100 TBC coins is worth a great deal today and will become massive once we reach our objective of 1 billion members. We have 3,309,852 members at the moment of writing this article. So that means each TBC coin is worth 3 million 309, 852 grain. And when we use this third-party calculator, it shows 8,496, sorry, 8,496,665 $0.90. Times that by 100 TBC coins, and that equals 849,666,590. Then when we reach our objective of 1 billion members, those same 100 TBC coins will be worth 100 billion grain, 100 billion grain, which is so big this calculator can't process it. But it is roughly $250 billion. $250 billion. At some point, you can draw the conclusion of having too much abundance, especially when you understand the responsibilities that come with having a stewardship. Yes, the TBC billionaires will be the ones erecting future skyscrapers and establishing institutions of their own, and will be able to provide liquidity to the TBC millionaires they align with in this grand mission to raise up humanity. But in order for an economy to work, there needs to be some friction between socio-economic classes, and not everyone can be a billionaire. Another thing to consider is that there are exactly 1 billion TBC coins. If it was too easy to get 100 TBC coins, then once 10 million members collected them, the admin wallet would run to zero prematurely. That would be the end of cookie rewards. Without further incentive to offer, we most likely would not be able to get to 1 billion members. Frankly, if you manage to hit this limitation, you shouldn't be concerned about getting even more TBC coins. You should be even more excited to work even harder to help the community to get to 1 billion members, knowing that the incentive is to mature your coins to $250 billion. That's a massive stewardship. The TBC community will expect much from you. TBC was never meant to be a mission of personal gain only. We do not want to raise all members up. In the end, worst case scenario, you will become a TBC millionaire. Simple transaction of 40 grain worth of Pringles will result in TBC millionaire status. And it doesn't get easier than that to become a millionaire. What I find interesting is the notion that today you could do such a transaction and then immediately go through the redemption process. Out of sheer ignorance, some people think they should be able to cash it all in. Lord, where do these people think that money is coming from? We are in the distribution phase. People, movement in the millions, such as that, would only be available once a mature, full-blown TBC criminal economy has been established. Think of the distribution phase like a condominium skyscraper being built. Condos are being sold long before they are built. People literally are buying A at first. Maybe the foundation has been built. People are buying condos on the 10th floor already. The 10th floor won't exist for at least a year. People feel like they are getting a bargain with their purchase. And they are not wrong. So I think I cleared up a lot there before getting into the exceptions on the 100 TBC cookie rewards limit. All exceptions relate to building up membership in TBC. Let's look at how a member could even get to this 100 TBC limit in the first place. Broadcasters certainly have the advantage here. Broadcasters get 1 million cookies for every send button meeting they view. They would have to view 10,000 meetings to hit the limit of 100 TBC coins. That's not likely to ever happen. They also get 1 million cookies for every broadcast that they do. And again, it would take 10,000 broadcasts to hit the limit. So meetings and broadcasts are not going to ever reach that limit alone. Broadcasters do get 100 million cookies for each exchange, 40 grand. It would cost about $10,000 worth of Pringles to hit the limit. I can see that happening in a few cases. But in principle, we don't want to exceed the 100 TBC limit based solely on large purchases. That was the main reason I wrote the previous article, saying cookie rewards is not available for institutions. A basic millionaire member that doesn't broadcast gets 100,000 cookies for the same transaction. It would cost them $10 million worth of TBC to hit the limit. So far, these are not the ways members would even hit the limit. Builders that sponsor 100 new members get 1 billion cookies for each set of 100. So a big builder that signs up 1,000 new members could hit this limit. Unfortunately, scammers have swarmed around the TBC community, taking advantage whatever they can. In the last two redemption periods, all referrals counted towards cookie rewards. And email verification was all that was required. Have you noticed most of the recruiting services around TBC dried up and went away once members was based on page status, not just email verified? Admin has seen a lot of obvious fraud coming from these recruiting services, and the change to page status corrected that situation. So if you have earned enough cookie rewards that exceeds the 100 TBC limit based on signups, and send a support ticket asking for an exception, they better be real referrals. For now, if you sign up over 1,000 paid referrals and ask for an exception, I can accept that and issue the addition TBC coins has earned deserving the reward. But if you try to scam admin by claiming all of your email verified, non-paid sign-ups are real, then you will need to prove it. Get them to become paid and have them complete their profiles. A true builder doesn't sign up people and immediately abandon them. Being a sponsor comes with some responsibilities to encourage their recruits to fully plug into the TBC community. We are turning people into millionaires and billionaires for goodness sake. Why wouldn't they want to fully plug in? I'm just going to say it. If you think you deserve to get more than 100 TBC coins for a half-assessed job on your part, you are crazy. On the other hand, if you have carefully read a blog, I have shown you many ways to be a big builder. You can get thousands of new members in paid status, plugged into the TBC community. For those kind of builders, I really don't have a limit for you. Send in a support ticket and make your case. If you have clean paid referrals and they have completed their profiles, then you fit into the exception. Admin will reward you beyond the limitation. Many of you run large meetings and have set up a good system to sign up thousands of people. Or perhaps you have partnered with a number of merchants and they pass out your business cards. I could go along with that as long as you followed up with each that signed up. Some sales funnels could also produce thousands of paid referrals. So like I said, all exceptions relate to building up membership in TBC. We will look at each situation on a case-by-case basis. This article will be required reading if you present a case to the help desk. We will investigate. Honesty is the best policy. My fellow TBCs, this article is very, very important. Most of us, we are honestly involving in building TBC community, and we deserve to present the verified evidence of being partnering with some trusted sellers and broadcasters. We have taken advantage of certain cookie rewards promotions put up by the TBC admin. One of it is 500% bonus, which was put up back in June to July 31st, but again extended to August 15th. So this is one of the opportunities that we have taken advantage to get as much as possible, the cookie rewards. This article has made it very, very clear that if we hold more than 100 TBC coins, then we must present our verified evidence to the TBC admin so that we can be able to be given the exception to have more than 100 TBC coins. Thank you, TBC admin, for this great article poster, reminding all of us, the TBC members. May God bless TBC admin.